Welcome back to Simply Obyte. Today we're going to talk about how Obyte works. Obyte uses a mathematical concept known as a DAG, directed acyclic graph, to maintain its distributed ledger. Let's break that down. First, the graph, a structure consisting of points, or in Obyte's case, transactions, that can be connected to one another. Next, we know this graph is directed. This means that the graph grows forward. Transaction 1 connects to Transaction 2. Transaction 2 connects to Transaction 3, and so on. Lastly, the graph is acyclic. Acyclic means non-circular. This means we will never see Transaction 1 connect to Transaction 2, connect to Transaction 3, connect back to Transaction 1. With Obyte, anyone can submit a transaction directly to the ledger. When they do, there are rules that must be followed. The rules are important as they help the ledger determine transaction order, reach consensus, and prevent issues like double spends. No middlemen or miners are involved. This is for good reason. Miners have the power to manipulate transaction order or deny them entirely, at least until some other miner gets the chance to put the blocked transaction in the next block. With Obyte, no miner, block producer, person, government, country, entity, no one, and no thing is between you and the network. That is true decentralization. While there are no miners in Obyte, there are still fees. The fees are equal to the amount of storage needed to store your transaction on the ledger, ensuring the fees are always predictable. An average fee is about 1,000 bytes, which is less than a fraction of a cent. In the background, Obyte fees split into two categories: header fees and payload fees. Header fees can be collected by users, but payload fees can only be collected by order providers. Order providers help support the network by constantly issuing transactions. There are 12 order providers selected for each transaction, and they were voted for and chosen by the community. Order providers are non-anonymous, reputable people and companies who pledge to run a software that makes them constantly post their own transactions. If any order provider acts in bad faith, they will be removed, risking their real-world reputation. Now, and this is important, the order providers cannot influence or refuse a transaction in any way. Their only responsibility is to constantly submit their own transactions to the network. DAGs work best when there is a steady flow of transactions. The software they run makes sure there are always transactions flowing. Due to Obyte's nature of being truly decentralized, near feeless, scalable, fast, and secure, it's perfect for things like DeFi, decentralized finance applications. DeFi on projects with miners are vulnerable to issues like MEV, miner extracted value, also known as front-running, back-running, and sandwich attacks. This is where a miner can purposely mine or validate his or her own transaction before others. This puts users who had made trades previously at a huge disadvantage, as miners can profit heavily through arbitrage while users wait to have their transactions confirmed. This technique extracted over $100 million in profit in the month of February alone. MEV isn't the only issue. DeFi projects with miners are also vulnerable to absurd and unsustainable fees. For instance, on Ethereum, you can pay a higher fee to have your transactions confirmed faster. This fact alone creates an unsustainable bidding structure that can skyrocket transaction fees. There have been Ethereum gas fees in the several $100 range during peak traffic times. Hundreds of dollars for one transaction. With Obyte, none of those issues are even possible because there are no miners. There is no need to pay for faster access to the ledger. Access to the ledger is always fast, direct, affordable, and fair. That's all for today's video. If you'd like to learn more about DeFi or DAGs, please visit the links in the description below.